Today is Thursday, August 14th, 2025, and we are on the record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-069 for parcel number 28265-111-482000, represented by Lonnie Steinmetz, who is in attendance via Zoom, and the assessor's office, who is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is also in attendance. Please silence your cell phones. Note that these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to the YouTube channel once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board consists of myself, Jim Breakville, Rosa Decker as a member, and Jerry Gingrich as a member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines, and please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Mr. Steinmetz?
Yes, sir.
You swear you're going to tell the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The appellant will go first and present any testimony, then will be followed by the appraiser. Go ahead.
Well, I just got some questions here. We're actually got 5 of our properties that we're contesting the property taxes on. A couple of the concerns I got is there's been no updates on them, no work's been done on them. The real estate's kind of stagnant at this point. They are obviously our rentals. And I guess, to be honest, I'm just kind of fighting for my renters so I don't have to keep raising rents. I get it. We have a lot of other properties, more, I'll call it higher end properties that we're obviously not contesting because those people could afford rent adjustments where these properties are at. It's just kind of a dying neighborhood, if it makes any sense. And real estate market is stagnant right now. And I guess another question I got, they say things been physically inspected. I did call my renters up, no one's knocked on their doors to be able to go inside, look at properties. My property on Ironwood, it says it was not physically inspected. So they had one picture. The ones that say were physically inspected, they took 2 or 3 other pictures. And I'm not understanding that either. And that's kind of where I'm at on it.
Okay, anything else?
No, that's about it. I'd like to say all my paperwork's at my house. I'm nope, nothing else. Nothing else.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. This is once again for parcel 111-482-000. The subject is a single family residence built in 1955 in fair quality and average condition. It is 918 square feet of living space with a 307 square foot carport and 160 square foot covered porch in the back. It has 2 and 11 hardboard siding, vinyl windows, and a rolled roof and a fireplace. The lot is 12,517 square feet, valued at our Moses Lake rate, residential 1 rate. I did include a sketch of the house on page 4 of my response. I've got photos, 2 different pictures of the front, and 2 different pictures of the back of the house as well. As far as the valuation goes, in the sales grid that I included, I did pick. I used 4 of the most recent sales that we had in that area, in that neighborhood, and when you put those in there and compare them directly to the subject parcel, and you take into account the differences in square footage and things like that, overall we can support a value. We can support the assessed value. It is, let's it is our request that the board sustain the current assessed value at $200,858.
Is that my Vista property? Is that the one on Vista?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Is there anything else, Mr. Steinmetz?
Well, I don't. Once again, I understand property values, understand taxes, all of that. Like I say, I'm just kind of fighting. These homes are not in, your Pelican Point areas, things such as that. So the people, I'm just the rents are getting out of control, and the reason is because these property taxes are getting so high. Like I say, we have quite a few properties. I'm only contesting a handful of them in the areas that, well, the lower income areas, and that's where I'm at on it. We have quite a few lake properties, a lot of different properties, but once again, I'm just contesting the ones that are, where people live month to month. And my fix on it is obviously to raise rent. I haven't raised my rent in years, because of course I want to keep people in there. But I'm a businessman. I understand how the process works. But there's got to be something. I would hope something could get done about this, and that's just kind of where I'm at.
Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, with that,
Okay. This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. And we will move on to the next parcel. Everyone's been reminded that you've all been sworn in. So this next petition number is 2024-071 for parcel number 23221-100200000.
hey, Mr. Steinmetz, do you have anything else you would like to add, or is this the same?
No, it's going to be the same argument on it. It'll be the same thing. What address is that one?
51, or no,
217 Knowles Vista Drive.
Okay. Yeah. It'd be the same argument. Once again, no upgrades have been done. Stagnant area, that's in the Knowles Vista area right there. Not a homes are being sold. Not a lot of homes being sold right now. I'll have the same argument on all of them.
okay.
Okay. This once again is for parcel 100200000. The subject is a single-family residence built in 1949 with 720 square feet of living space in fair quality and average condition. The home has wood siding, architecture comp shingles, a fireplace, a 96 square foot patio in the back, and a detached garage. The lot is 6,500 square feet, valued at our Moses Lake Residential 1 rate. And once again, I did submit photos, front, back of the house, along with a sketch of the house. And then I used the most recent sales that we had. And again, when you put them into the sales grid, do a direct sales comparison, we can fully support the assessed value that we have on a house, and it is the assessor's request that the board sustain the current assessed value at $152,414.
Mr. Steinmetz?
Nope. I understand. I hate to say this. I kind of agree, but once again, I'm just kind of where does it stop at? That's just kind of where I'm at.
Okay. All right.
moving on to the next one. Petition number 2024-072 for parcel number 23298-100275000. And a reminder, you are still under oath.
Go ahead.
What's the address of that one?
409 West Loop Drive.
Okay.
The subject is a single-family residence built in 1950 with 1,024 square feet of living space in fair quality and average condition. The home has vinyl siding, vinyl windows, and architecture comp shingles with a 338 square foot patio in the back of the home. The lot is 6,600 square feet, valued at our Moses Lake Residential 1 rate. Again, there is pictures of this sketch of the house. I've got pictures of the front. Just 2 pictures of the front. And I was unable to get in the back because there is the fence there. But you got pictures of the front of the house on both sides of it. And once again, I used 4 of the most recent sales that we had in that neighborhood. And when put into a direct sales comparison grid, we can fully support the value that we have assessed on the home. And it is the assessor's office the request that the board sustains the current assessed value at $163,462.
Mr. Steinmetz, anything else?
No, you know what? Yeah, they're nothing. I got nothing on it. It's just once again, it's I'll have the same argument on it. So
Okay.
I'm just hoping that something could get done so I don't have to start adjusting all these rents and making hard for everybody.
Okay.
Mr. Ritchie, I have a question about your comparables. Your first comparable there, which is actually the highest price comparable, is sale date was 3/14/24, which is actually 3 months after the cutoff date. Wasn't it effective 1 January?
No, it doesn't go till March, I believe.
So I can't speak on it, but I can address that when I get up there if you would like.
Thought it was as of 1 January, sales as of 1 January. I apologize if I'm incorrect. So never disregard my question then. I'm done.
Barb?
We will move on to the next hearing for petition number 2024-073 for parcel 23231-100210000. And a reminder that you are still under oath.
Mr. Steinmetz, do you have anything to say in addition?
No, what's the address on that one?
249 West Knowles Vista Drive.
Okay. Yeah, same thing. Once again, no upgrades, nothing's been done on that house in years. It's once again the same argument.
Okay.
The subject is a single-family residence built in 1949 with 780 square feet of living space. It is fair average quality and in average condition. The home has wood shingle siding, vinyl windows, and architecture comp roof. The 144 square foot patio in the back, as well as a 308 square foot detached garage. The lot is 6,823 square feet, valued at our Moses Lake Residential 1 rate. When put into the direct sales comparison grid using the 4 of the newest sales that we have, we can support the value that we have on it, and it is the assessor's request that the board sustain the current assessed value at $155,594.
Mr. Steinmetz?
Yep. No, I got nothing other than what I've already said. I guess I got a question too. Why don't you look at the surrounding houses and see what kind of a shape those houses are getting into, because people are just not taking care of things. That's just kind of my thought too. We're not talking the best neighborhoods in Moses Lake, because they are starting to turn like every other of the older neighborhoods out there. So the people I get to rent those places, they once again have a hard time.
Okay,
And in response to that, sir, all of the comps that we use, the sales that we use to support the value, all come from that Knowles Vista neighborhood. So all of the sales that we've used all come from that same neighborhood where each one of your rental properties are at.
Right. Are you talking the same street? Are you talking 4, 5, 6 houses down? Because like every other neighborhood, you got people that still own their homes that take care of them, and people that don't. We pay water, sewer, garbage on all these homes, so they are taken care of. The yards are taken care of, and it's just once again the well starts running dry when the property taxes keep going up. Because once again, my only fix is start jacking rents up, and that's something I don't want to do. Most of these homes I haven't jacked the rents up in 5 years because people tend to stay at my homes because I don't jack the rents up. And I'm just kind of, fighting for the renters. I guess that's what I'm going for. We have lots of properties. Once again, I understand the process. And yes, I wish all those homes were worth $1 million. Of course I do. But I just feel that these are getting out of control. Every time I turn around, property taxes. And once again, I understand why, but you think there'd be some leniency just for the renters alone.
okay. To address that comment, I have to tell you that we have nothing to do with property taxes.
I know. I understand. I completely understand this process. First time in 20 plus years I've ever done this. I kind of, want to see how this works, all of that good stuff. I understand that 100%.
Once again, these will be posted, the board orders within 45 days of the board's decision. We have a different, okay, today is Thursday, August 14th, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-070 for parcel number 26308-110528000, represented by Lonnie Steinmetz, who is attendance via Zoom. The assessor's office is represented by Clayton Johnson, who is also in attendance. Please silence your cell phones. Note that these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to the YouTube channel once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is opened.
Once again, the hearing today is regarding true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Brakebill, Rosa Decker as a member, and Jerry Gingrich is a member. We have reviewed all evidence and presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Again, the appellant will go first and present, and then testimony will then be followed. We've heard your testimony. If you want to add anything for this one, that's fine. Mr. Steinmetz?
Yeah, no, same thing. That must be my Ironwood property.
Correct.
Yeah, no, same thing. No upgrades, no neighborhoods kind of going to the wayside type thing. Same argument. I got the same argument on it.
Okay.
So subject is an 800 square foot, 1-story, single family residence on a 7,200 square foot residentially zoned lot in Moses Lake. Per page 6 sales comparison grid, the value of $148,919 is supported. I will address the appellant had mentioned that all of these except for one were physically inspected. This one was not in an inspection cycle. We inspect 1/6 of the county every year, and then the rest of the county is statistically valued based on sales. That's where this one was valued. It was just based on sales. That's why it wasn't physically inspected. There wasn't anything on the petition that led me to believe that there needed to be a physical inspection. There was no conditional issues that were addressed that would lead me to need to physically inspect the property. Therefore, my recommended value remains at land 42,500, building 79,101, for a total assessed value of 121,601.
Mr. Steinmetz, anything else?
Nope, nothing.
Okay.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Okay, good morning. Today is Thursday, August 14th, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-023 for parcel number 23639-100615000, represented by James Garrison, who is in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is also in attendance. Please silence your cell phones. Note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is opened.
Once again, this hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is myself, Jim Brickville, Rosa Decker is a member, and Jerry Gingrich is a member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be presented at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep the timelines. Please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
I do.
Okay. The appellant will go first, present the testimony, then be followed by the appraiser, so go ahead.
Basically, I don't disagree with any of the values you put on all this, you know. The only thing I disagree with is your house without anybody coming in to look at it. My house is 1956 was built, or 1955. There has been no major remodeling, and the stuff I sent in and the comparisons I sent to you show you what I'd have to do on my house to bring it up to get that value to sell it. If somebody was to come in and make an offer on my house right now, first thing they'd start is say it was valued at $240,000. They'd start deducting paint, bathroom needs remodeled, kitchen total gut job, flooring is 40 years old, and kind of just on down the line. And unless I do those improvements, I'll never get that kind of value out of the house.
Okay. Anything else?
This side I got a fireplace. And originally when I first moved in, I tried to put a fireplace, a wood stove. I tried to put the wood stove in where it used to be an oil furnace. And I tried to duct it into the existing 6-inch chimney. Well, it never did flue right. So after the first 3 months, it still sits there, but it's absolutely no use in the home whatsoever. And the only other thing I'll add is probably increase my value a little. Within the last 2 months, I did have a ductless air conditioning system put in under a great deal by the PUD.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
Let's see, the subject is a single-family residence built in 1956 with 962 square feet of living space and a 338 square foot attached garage. The home is in fair average quality and in average condition. It has wood siding, single pane windows, architecture comp roof, and a fireplace. The lot is 6,600 square feet. That are mostly residential 1 rate. I did include photos. I physically inspected the property in February of 2024. At that time when I spoke, whoever answered the door, whoever I spoke with, did inform me that there was no issues with the house at all at that time. which is why it was valued the way it is. I did include a couple of photos that I took on the day of my inspection, 2 front photos. It was requested that I don't go in the backyard at that time. And then if you look at the direct sales comparison grid, using 4 of the newest sales that we have in this area, in the same neighborhood that this home is in, we can support the current assessed value on the home, and it is the assessor's request that the board sustain the current assessed value of $212,118.
Okay. Any rebuttal?
I just don't think I could get that out of the house in the condition that it's currently in. Like I mentioned, and in fact, I did on a couple of the comparisons I showed, they're on this sheet. And I went kind of the layout of what they have and what I don't have and what it'd cost to put that stuff in. And that's kind of where I based a lot of it off of, what it had cost me to get that true value out of my house, and maybe even a little bit more.
And that's what this sales comparison grid does. It takes into account your house in its current condition, and then each one of the comps, what each one of them has, and the differences, and assigns a numerical value to the differences. So if if yours is 962 square feet, one of your comps that you used was 1,300 square feet. Well, we deducted $31,000 off the value of that home to make up the difference, the 340 square feet difference between the 2 homes. So that this direct sales comparison grid takes into account the current condition of the subject, your home, and whatever the comps are, and makes that numerical addition or difference, and gives us a value that that it would be if they were the exact same.
Anything else?
Well, unless I can see the exterior, you can take a look at and stuff, but without somebody physically coming into my house and, looking at my kitchen, my bathroom, my flooring, without physically coming in, which I'm more than willing to, anybody wants to come in the house and look at it, could easily tell my kitchen's 1956. Last time it was painted was like 40 years ago. That's the only upgrade I did in there. Same way with the bathroom. I got I put in over 45 plus years of living there. I put in a new toilet, but that's 40 years old. So by the time you start adding up to get to your true value, $20,000 or whatever for a kitchen, $20,000 for flooring, and the houses that you compared it to that he was referencing, it was totally flipped. Brand new windows, heating and air, huge, pretty good sized shop, patio. These are all things like in my little deal I listed out that are the difference between my house and theirs. I understand the square footage, that's understandable, the difference there and how it figures in. But like I say, without physically coming into my house and looking at what the upgrades need to be done on the inside, which is the majority, exterior does need paint, especially on the back. I mean, the only way I'll ever get that kind of money out of my house is to invest, a good deal of money to do that.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I hear the issues. Did at any point, and I don't want to speak for the assessor's office, because it's my understanding they don't go into homes unless they're invited. So my question is, at any point, did you contact them and say, hey, we have all these internal issues. Could you come take a look at them? I mean, I'm just asking.
No,
Okay,
no, I didn't know that was
that's
available.
One thing, not speaking for the entire board, we urge everyone to speak to the assessor's office all the way through this process, because they're the ones, You know, we're kind of like a judge. We hear
Right.
both sides, so they can hopefully solve these issues before it comes to this point, and maybe they can, maybe they can't, but I urge you to speak to them.
And I don't know who came to the door, if, I'm the only one that's lived there
Right.
for
I
that many. And anybody's welcome to come in my backyard, they're welcome to come in my house. I have nothing against anybody that wants to evaluate it. They're more than welcome to do it.
And I urge you to contact the office, and just, you know, once again, I don't want to speak for your office, but they may be able to work something like that.
Yeah,
So-
I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, and I have a question also. You did use the comparable that he had that was dated 7/30/24.
So I threw that one in there simply because it was a comp that he had used.
Okay.
Let's see, using just my, using just my comps, the first three that are on this list, I can support a value of $220,369. So if I don't include his comps in this at all, I can support a value of $220,369. I included his because he did throw them in there. They were from the same neighborhood, which most of the time when people include comps, they come from all over everywhere. Because they were in the exact same neighborhood, and they weren't 15 or 20 years old, I threw them into this sales grid. But yeah, if we take those out and don't use those at all, I can support a value of $220,000.
And here again, it's just, you know, I agree with the value if it's fixed up. If I don't do any improvements, I'm never going to get that value out of it.
Anything else from you?
No.
Okay.
I have a question.
Oh.
So after you got those pictures, because you submitted those pictures, and did you take those into consideration at all? The pictures, I mean, there's obviously some damage in the house and it's fixing it. Was that taken into account at all?
All of
Interior?
the interior pictures. I looked at them all, and yeah, I mean, it's a 50-something-year-old house. I mean, we've got it already valued as an average 50-year-old house. That's where we have it valued. If it was higher than that, yeah, we would have, you know, I had the pictures and I didn't think there was a need for an interior inspection or anything like that. It was taken into consideration, but I think where we have it valued is correct.
Okay. Anything else from either one? Okay. Barb?
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all the information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Okay. Good morning. Today is Thursday, August 14th, 2025. And we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-088 for parcel number 65046-211182000, represented by Robert Heather, who is in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Darren Hine, who is also in attendance. Please silence your cell phones. Note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is opened.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Breakbill, Rosa Decker as, gonna get it right yet, Rosa Decker is a member and Jerry Gingrich is a member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Do Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do. Yes.
Appellant will go first and present testimony, and then it'll be followed by the appraiser's office. Go ahead.
So I don't know. I purchased the home and the seller wasn't available. And so I didn't get a lay of the land. And then later we find out that the well, they owned the home and the acreage. And they sold the house off, but the acreage has the well on it. So it's 3/10 of a mile, like 1,500 feet away from the property. So I have no paperwork like, what would you call it, a well water agreement. So I don't really have custody, control, or care of it. Found this out later when the power bill came, and we got two power bills. One was for the house and the other one said well, and I'm like, well, where's the well? And so we followed it. Like I said, it's literally 1,500 feet out. There's no one else on it. I don't understand why they did it that way. So that's one issue. There's different things with the house that I just thought the windows, the seals are broken on the windows, so they're fogging up. You can't hardly see through them as the weather, humidity changes. My insurance sent me a letter and I didn't get time to do it, but it was about the roof and they said it was so many years and they need to have it inspected, and I missed the deadline on that. So then I finally did get a roofer out to look at it. And then he pointed out things to me where the seams are open, not covered like they should be. And a little bit of wind where it's flapping some of them. I don't know what else. We were able to, before the closing, our realtor said that we could move in. So they presented that to the seller and they accepted it. So we moved in like a month and a half in advance. And when we had initially done the walkthrough downstairs, there was a repairman there in the basement working on the ceiling. And he was patching tape texture, mud and whatever. So we didn't think anything of it. So then we talked to the seller's agent and she said, oh, the P-trap on the jet tub had been leaking and it leaked in. So they had repaired that. So the wife went to use the tub, and of course you don't run downstairs and look immediately to see if anything's going on. So after 2 or 3 times of doing this, I happened to be downstairs and I went over because it's another room. Got to open the door and walk in another room. I walk in there and here's where it dripped 4 or 5 times. So the seller's agent, her husband works for like Basin Plumbing, and so they came out. And of course, here we are, we're living there and they're in the other room running the jet tub they spent hours on it trying to figure out what it was. They couldn't come up with it. Finally, what the problem is that once you turn the tub off and it stops activating and creating a siphon, the water level is above the jets. And now we have gravity feed through one of the jets and it drips. So until that water level is below that. So I've turned the water off and we haven't used it since. I thought it was stuff I could fix, that would be a simple fix. And turns out this is a built-in jetted tub. And it's like, I didn't get an inspection on the house. We kind of did the walkthrough and did the inspection, turning on lights and furnace and AC and run the water in the well cycle. Like you could tell the pressure was kicking up and off. So I just think that the value of the place, I thought I was going to be able to submit pictures, but then I guess not. This is all new to me. So maybe some after the fact that I submit for next year.
Anything else?
Yeah, I can't think of anything offhand. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
One more thing. My realtor called me and, hey, Robert, you've got the water softener. You got to do something with that. You got to call Culligan and Freda and either take over the contract or have the removed. So the thing looked like it had been put in the 80s. So we just had them come. So we lost a
$2,500 water softener. Okay, that's it.
Obviously, you guys have reviewed everything. Once I received the appellant's petition, this was definitely something that I thought needed to be physically inspected. The well issue is a big issue, but you'll see in his petition that he did submit things about window replacements and brought up the roofing as well. Our evidence was due by July 7th. I started trying to contact the appellant a week prior to that, once I had gotten to his petition. Always went to voicemail. The voicemail was full. Didn't have any other way of corresponding. He had requested that we mail out our response, which was mailed out on the 7th. On Monday, it came back undeliverable. At that point in time, I reached back out, and thankfully the two of us were able to connect. He spoke about the issues and that he was new to this process, totally understandable. But this still does warrant a physical inspection, in my opinion. The problem is that for this year, with this petition, nothing can be done. This was not in physical inspection for this tax year, but I was out on this property for next year because that was in reval. Unfortunately, there was a dog there that didn't want me there. So I took my photos from where I could, and I know the house. After we had our discussion and told him that pictures of the damage and things that we just don't, it's too late for that for this year. However, with our conversation on Monday, hopefully did you bring your pictures?
I went and took pictures.
Okay, yeah, so my full intent is to take a look at this well issue. I did look at the surrounding properties, they're different ownership. I think I know where the well is, but that's a discussion for the appellant and I to have moving forward. But for this year, because I wasn't able to be in contact, we're just asking the board to support our current value for this tax year of $44,645 for land value, $344,303 for structure value, for a total of $388,948 total parcel value.
I think at least the value I submitted, the price of having a well drilled, casing, structure. I really didn't do anything on electrical, but I did submit what that would cost. And I think that should be at least be considered to be taken off. And it's something I'm gonna have to work on now, because if I sell the property, the next person that purchases it is gonna wanna know why the well's out there, and if they have, you know, a deed or a water well rights or something to it. So it's definitely on their property. Like I said, it's 3/10 of a mile.
The deadlines are the deadlines, and unfortunately, that's where we stand.
I understand. And the comparables used,
Yes.
you want to address any of those at all?
If you look at the sales comparison grid, you will see that the value that we're asking to sustain was supported by the comparable sales that were utilized. Out of the 5 comparable sales in that neighborhood, the average came out to basically $429,500, and we're just asking the board to sustain our current value of $388,948. But again, more work needs to be done on that, and the appellant and I have spoken about that. So we are going to hopefully rectify or at least solidify what needs to be valued moving forward with the issues that were stated by the appellant.
One of the biggest things that we try to make sure everybody understands is that communication is the biggest key to this scenario. And if you have questions, direct them to the assessor's office, and they can then make adjustments if you get there in time. And this, I mean, at this point, obviously, our hands are tied. I mean, he's got what he's got, and that's kind of a situation that nothing can, at this point, that I see can be done to assist you. I mean, communication. We need to have communication. So, okay.
I showed up and submitted my paperwork at the time I was supposed to.
But did you talk to them about having adjustments made? That's my point.
I went to the office and they sent me upstairs.
Upstairs,
Well, to the
commissioner's office?
or no, sorry. I went to the assessor's office and they told me to go upstairs and go talk to them, and then that's when I got
To file the appeal.
Yeah, so I got
Okay,
the
to talk to
appeal,
Mark.
so I got the appeal,
So you filed an appeal.
so I thought I'd done everything what I was supposed to do in the timely manner that I was supposed to do it in.
But again, now that he's got the information, I think adjustments are gonna be in the future, but I don't know, I can't guarantee that.
Okay. Well, I had my piece, I'm good, yeah.
Okay, Barbara?
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all the information provided, and the board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Okay. Good morning. Today is Thursday, August 14th, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-043 for parcel number 31527-120728213, represented by Daniel and Ashley Hopkins, who are not in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones. Note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is opened.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Breakville, Rosa Decker as a member, and Jerry Gingrich as a member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Does the assessor's representative swear the testimony is about to give us the truth?
I do.
Go ahead.
All right, this is, once again, for parcel 120728213. The subject is a single-family residence built in 2007 with 2,095 square feet of living space, with 1,030 square foot attached garage, a 71 square foot and a 308 square foot covered patios, and a 1,728 square foot detached garage. The home is average quality and in average condition with wood siding, vinyl windows, architecture comp roof. The lot is 43,560 square feet, valued at our Parker Springs interior rate. I did submit pictures of the house. If you look at the direct sales comparison grid, we didn't have a whole lot of sales, but we did have 2 of them. And based on the direct sales comparison grid, we can support the assessed value. In the petitioner's appeal there, he did include 1 comp, but that address doesn't exist. I'm not sure what it is. The only one closest to that one I could find was 49 84 on Brent Road, but that one sold in 2021 for $315,000. It's a 5 and 4-year-old sale. And then they also included in their thing that in April, I assume of April of 2024, they had it appraised for a HELOC loan, and the home came in assessed at $762,000. So based on the sales grid and the fact that their fee appraisal came in at $760,000, we request that the board sustain the current assessed value of $568,616.
Questions? Okay.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all information provided and board order stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of this order. Okay, good morning. Today is Thursday, August 14th, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-158 for parcel number 46412-161395000, represented by Jesse Henniger, and it says et al., so it must be a group, who is in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Darren Hine, who is also in attendance. Please silence your cell phones. Note that these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is myself, Jim Brakebill is here, Rosa Decker as member, Jerry Gingrich as member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The appellant will go first, but the reason they were laughing is because I've misspoke her name numerous times today already.
Okay, yeah, it's been a long,
Anyway.
long day already.
Go ahead, you're first.
You know, my biggest bellyache is probably with the state. It's unrealized gains for what you're trying to tax us for. We bought a property at a certain price. We've been penalized because it increases in value. You know, it's unrealized gains that you're taxing us on, and that's my biggest bellyache. So the Quonset hut is not a shop. It's more of a hay shed with a tack room in it. It's not enclosed. The other little addition to the side of the house, which right here, you're calling it a spare WR, which I'm assuming a spare room, is a covered porch.
Else?
That's all I got at the moment.
Initially, this parcel, and I'm sure you've reviewed everything, received an erroneous market adjustment. A new change of value notice was sent out with a accurate market adjustment, which was considerably lower than the erroneous one. At that point in time, the appeal or the petition was still in. We had taken care of that initial adjustment. And then after going through the steps that we take, including the sales comparison grid, this was an outlier, and we realized that we needed to make an adjustment. So an additional adjustment was made to remove the market adjustment off of the attached garage, which for manufactured homes, attached garages are a little bit different than on a single-family residence. They're built differently when it comes to a manufactured home. So that was an adjustment that needed to be made. On July 2nd, Jesse and I were able to speak. We went through everything, just as he stated. His biggest beef is with the state and what the rules that we're bound by for 100% market adjustments. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that I can do more than us discovering the first adjustment that needed to be made for the erroneous market adjustment. And then after going through the petition and doing the sales comparison grid, realizing that this was an outlier, and then removing that market adjustment off of the manufactured home. As far as what the appellant just stated, this has always been built in our system as a tag-along. So we've got a double wide.
That's what I'm talking about.
This one?
Yep.
The slab porch with roof?
That's what I was trying to figure out what those would,
Yeah, so that's just, that, all it is a
because I see
covered.
the SR and I thought spare room. is
No,
what comes to mind.
okay, gotcha. No, okay. So I thought you were referring to the tag-along. So that is just valued as a slab porch with roof. It's not being valued as a spare room or anything like that. It is being valued properly. Again, the legislature sets the laws. We're bound by the DOR rules, 100% market value. After the last adjustment, after we found out that even with correcting the erroneous market adjustment and putting it into the sales comp grid, then we realized it's still an outlier, or is an outlier with the correct market adjustment. That's why we took that off of the attached garage, which is not uncommon for this area, this neighborhood, for manufactured homes, double wides, because that's what the market was showing. We're recommending sustaining our updated value, get back to it, of land stays the same at 77,400. New recommended building improvements at 306,572 for a total of 383,972. When placing this into the sales grid, we can definitely support that value.
Huge cash grabs, all I can say. So huge cash grab.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all the information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good morning. Today is Thursday, August 14th, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-182 for parcel 23633-100-609,000, represented by Aaron and Heather Harper, who are not in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones. Note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. There are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Breakville, Rosa Decker as a member, and Jerry Gingrich as a member. We reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Since there's no appellant, does the assessor's representative swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Once again, this is for parcel 100609000. The The subject is a single-family residence built in 1956 with 1,690 square feet of living space and a 492 square foot finished basement. The home is fair average quality and average condition with wood siding and metal roof and vinyl windows. The home also has a 210 square foot wood deck in the back and a fireplace. The lot is 660 square feet, valued at our Moses Lake Residential 1 rate. In my response, I did submit photos, front, just front photos, one from each, 2 different angles. And I did put the home in a direct sales comparison grid. I used the sales, the newest sales that we had in this area, all of them from 2023. And based on that sales grid, we can fully support the value that we do have. In response to the appellant, the comps that they used, unfortunately, of the 4 sales that they submitted as comps, none of them can be used in direct sales comparison to this one because they are all in different neighborhoods other than the one that the subject sits in. So while they're all newer sales, none of them can be used to affect positively or negatively the value on the subject parcel because they're in different neighborhoods from around Moses Lake. So it is the request of the assessor's office that the board support the current assessed value at $307,586.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all the information provided and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good morning. Today is Thursday, August 14th, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-187 for parcel 23255-100-234000, represented by Jorge Longoria et al., and Michelle Longoria is in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Jeremy Ritchie, who is also in attendance. Please silence your cell phones. Note that these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is opened.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Brakebill, Rosa Decker as a member, and Jerry Gingrich as a member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
I do.
Okay. Appellant will go first, present any testimony, then we'll be followed by the appraiser. Go ahead.
Okay, so one of the things I noticed on the paperwork is that there's a fireplace in that residence. There is no fireplace. There hasn't been a fireplace in that residence for 2014. Was one of the things I noticed on the paperwork. The other reasons I don't agree with what the value of the house, for one, is the fact that that residence is in the middle of a massive amount of drug dealers and gang activity. There has been multiple different SWAT teams in front and on both sides of that house multiple times in the last year. We're up to at least 6 in the last 8 months, and 3 of which is across the street. The other aspect is that house has not had any upgrades in 24 years. We still have shingle sidings on the garage itself. The siding is to the point that it has to be replaced along with the windows. And we just haven't ended up getting to that. The other aspects I have is that that house has never been measured properly. When I purchased that house, it was supposedly 950 square feet. I looked at the paperwork, I think it was like 5 years ago or so, and it went up to 1,050 square feet. I called, requested the fact of an actual measurement to go out. It came back as 750 square feet. And now it's back up to the 10,050 square feet. So until those things are done properly, I don't think that the estimated value is correct. Is one. And then I disagree with fair market value, because as far as I'm concerned, the fair market value is just a way for the state to sit there and tax me on something that's considered unrealized gain tax. Because that's not what I purchased the house for. Therefore, I shouldn't be paying taxes on something I've never earned any money off of in that aspect. So those are my disagreements on why for that specific residence.
Anything else?
No.
Okay.
All right, the subject is a single-family residence built in 1949 with 1,052 square feet of living space. It is fair quality and average condition for its age. The home has vinyl siding, architecture comp roof, and a 560 square foot detached garage. The lot is 6,600 square feet and valued at our Moses Lake Residential 1 rate. I did include photos of the home from the last time that I was out there doing a physical inspection, front and back, and one of the detached garage as well. And then I did put it into a sales grid and used the newest sales from the same neighborhood that the home is in. And based on that direct sales comparison grid, we can support the assessed value that we have it at. In response to the two comps that were submitted in the appeal, neither one of them can be used or even considered simply due to their age. One of them's 2018 and one of them's from 1993. So we're unable to use either one of those sales in consideration of the value of the home. Yeah, based on the direct sales comparison, just pulling the most recent sales from the neighborhood where the home sits, we can support the current assessed value. So it's the assessor's request the board supports and sustains the current assessed value of $168,870.
Not in the fact that none of that consists of what the neighborhood actually is, which is a gang-related neighborhood at this point.
And my only response to that is that the houses continue to sell in that neighborhood, which is how I have the comps that I have. I understand, but I mean, the reality is homes are still selling.
Well, homes will always sell. It's just a matter of, one, who is actually buying them. And a lot of these places are not being actually always done by individuals, they're done by corporations, which then help up the values of what you guys can say, not counting what Zillow is, which is to sell houses, which they want their value of the houses to go as high as possible so that they can make their money. So.
I have a question.
Yes.
Where did you get your square footage?
I used what we had in the system already.
Okay.
When I was out there doing my physical inspection, I believe I was out there in 2024. I didn't remeasure it. We already had the sketches. We already had the measurements and the square footage. So I didn't remeasure it. I used what we had in the system at the time.
And my question to you then is, have you made any attempt to converse with the assessor's office about?
I have, and they sat there, and I believe it was like 2 to 3 years ago before you, it was right after you guys changed whatever system that you guys had before into a new system, and they simply told me, well, that's what's in my system. And I requested for them to go out and physically measure the house. If it's 1,050 square feet, that's fine, but it needs to be the same all the time. So when I requested for you guys to go out there or for them to go out there, they came back that the square footage of the house was only 750 square feet. And I received a check back from you guys stating that this is what they came up with. And then I turned around and looked again this year, and it's back up to 1,050 square feet. So until somebody can actually go out there and physically measure the house with a tape measure and add it properly, I will argue what the square footage of that house is.
And I ask again, have you made any attempt to get a hold of the assessor's office?
Yes.
Have them come out and do an inspection inside and out if you'd like.
Since then, I haven't contacted them because I just seen this one.
Okay.
But I had in the past, which wasn't that long ago.
Any other questions?
Just a statement, bold, broad statement, I should say, is any rulings the Board of Equalization makes are only valid for 1 year. So anything happened 2 years, last year, 5 years ago, it doesn't pertain anymore. Every year it can be reevaluated by the state. So just want to make sure we're clear on that.
Yeah.
Did you have any documentation of when the square footage got corrected? Have you presented that to?
I didn't bring any with me because it should be within your guys's or the assessor's documentation from previous. If you look at past years and stuff, it should be within that documentation. So.
All we can review is what's presented to us. We have no access to that. It's what's presented to us.
Okay.
And if you, I mean, you're saying that it's one thing, but we don't have that. So we don't have a way to do that.
Okay.
Okay. My suggestion, again, is to communicate and have them come out for this year so that you have it on record that you did it this year for the future.
Okay.
Okay.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all the information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. And that concludes our day.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Yep.